It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back. We got a brand new video that was suggested by one of you guys. Shout out to Cozy in the Discord community for actually suggesting this one. Which this one is from Testner1, titled Killer Main Start Slugging Now.
That's right, if you're a killer main in 2026, you have the unfortunate choice of either slugging everyone and winning the game, or playing nice and losing the game as every survivor escapes and teabags in your face. Now, why am I saying this? Well, it turns out that Dead by Daylight and Behavior both came together and decided to say fuck the entire killer concept entirely, and let's just give survivors every single advantage in the match so that they can survive and escape together and be all happy giddy.
Kind of sort of talk about like a bigger issue. And obviously original videos linked in the description, you can listen to the full commentary, but I wanted to kind of give my own thoughts on it. And my issues with the game really boils down to exactly what's being discussed in that video, and what I'm going to be discussing now is got to be the balancing around the survivor side at this point, because keeping in mind that they are very clearly very biased to the survivor side. I mean, we've seen this time and time again with these updates. We've seen it time and time again with even 2v8. We've seen it in time and time again with patch notes, updates, reworks, whatever it may be. They constantly are very quick to get rid of a killer advantage, but very slow to get rid of a survivor advantage. And that's why we look at stuff like the fast track nerf, for example. That was 2 months from what I've read. We can go even further back as Streetwise. That took a while. They refused to want to actually kill switch that bug when it had infinite items. Mind you, they had immediately kill switch Legion when they, out of nowhere, because nobody even mentioned this, that they had a bug where they had infinite power. And it's like, okay, so why is infinite power on Legion a problem but not infinite items on Survivor? Why are those two things not immediately on the kill switch list at the same exact time? Why are they not equal? Why are they not both broken? Why is one less broken than the other? If something is not working as intended, they should immediately stop it from being used so that they continue to show, you know, good faith for the community, that they actually care about the game and care about the experience. And realistically, that would have been the smart thing to do. But then they completely decided to shoot themselves in the foot by deciding not to do that at all. And that's my problem, right? And it's crazy because a lot of people in the community will claim it's bias. But apparently it's biased to look at the facts. Apparently it's biased to look at the evidence that's being provided by Behavior themselves, that they are actively choosing to make these decisions. It's not like we're making it up. It's not like, you know, because I know a lot of the DBD community likes to make up stories. They like to make up perspectives. They like to make up situations. And it's been shown, and that's why I show you guys in those DBD forum videos, is a sort of reflection of the DBD community. It's sort of to show you like a taste of the septic tank that is the DBD community. It's to show you that people don't know what they're talking about. It's to show you that people have no understanding of killer, have no understanding of the video game that we're playing. It's all for a purpose. It's to show you that. It's to show you what I'm talking about, because we even recently, a good example of a recent example, if you tuned into it, is that person talking about how fast track did not need to be nerfed, and oh, killers have all of these passive perks. And then one of the perks they brought up that were supposedly activating when gens get done was Dark Arrogance. Mind you, if you played killer, because I'm not gonna tell you what it does, because if you play killer, you should know what the perk does. Dark Arrogance, by the way. Dark Arrogance. Just put that bluntly. Dark Arrogance. That's all I have to say. And you'll know exactly why they lose all credibility. Right? So my issue obviously with that is because we're dealing with a community that already has no idea what they're talking about. We're dealing with a community that has a refusal to want to learn anything. We have a community that is obsessed with trying to sort of infantilize like the survivor side and make them out to be these victims. And it's like, no, they are people too. Like, they are out here with free will that are choosing to play this game even though they hate the game. They're choosing to play this game even though they, and mind you, complain about every little thing when they supposedly love the game, right? They play it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, but they somehow hate the game. Oh my goodness. And it's like, bro, if you hate the game so much, why are you playing it? Like, none of it makes any goddamn sense. And this is a bit of a rant, obviously, because it has I feel like I'm all over the place, but either way, the examples are there, right? The examples are there, and I've gotten to a point where I really just feel like a broken record, number one, because it's like, that's the only thing that we keep seeing, right? And obviously, I go off of what you guys suggest. I go off of you know, in the community, whatever videos you think are really worth discussing. And I know a lot of people, well, I can't say a lot of people, maybe like 2 or 3 people may complain. But keep in mind, I'm giving, you know, basically back to my community, because they tune in, you know what I mean? They watch the content and they want to hear my thoughts on different topics. So I'm giving back to them. And unfortunately, obviously, like, the main thing that where a lot of us are have a pretty good focus on is the fact that there is a bias going on. There is a problem going on. We've even seen that with the recent 2v8. We've seen that with the changes that they do. We see that with the killer quote unquote buffs that they had, which were nothing burgers, which did nothing for the killers that needed those changes. They didn't give them any good quality of life. Doctor got a 0.05 difference. 0.05. Think about how small that is for Doctor's detonation. And then they decide to nerf the add-ons on top. Like, what? Which, mind you, that just means it's a side grade, which means that people, like I keep saying, are not going to pick any different add-ons because you're not buffing it. You're not giving it an incentive to want to pick anything else, because you're giving the base kit one thing and then you reduce the add-on, which means you just need the add-on to go back to the original effect, which is what even happened with Ghostface. They decided to change the matchbook even further, and oh, we're gonna make it cool down even quicker, but we're gonna take away your add-on. We're gonna make stalking faster. We're gonna take away your add-on. Which, mind you, Philly was not that good anyway, but just as an example. And it just makes no sense. Because why are they so afraid to make killers good? Why are they so afraid to make the game an actual horror game, make the game actually scary? But instead, it's like they make the power roll the side that's supposed to be the weaker. There's supposed to be power of many, not power of one, when it comes down to Survivor side. So why is the one consistently weaker than the many, when it's supposed to be an asymmetrical game where the side can keep up? At bare minimum, can overextend in that sense, past them. That's why I look at a game like Friday the 13th and I look at it almost nearly as a gold standard, because I sit there and I say, that's how it should be. Because I remember playing Friday the 13th and I sit there and I say, you know, that was pretty frightening. Because you know that he's a threat. You know that you can fight back, sure. But if you don't have a weapon, or if you just like stun him once and he catches up to you again, you're probably gonna die. And that's what made it so risky but so fun at the same time, because even if you were to stun him, even if you were trying to team up on him, you knew for a fact that it's still a risk, and you know for a fact that he could kill somebody. He could still get someone. He still is a threat. He cannot be stopped. And it made it interesting, especially because you were able to traverse the map and look for things and actually repair stuff, had unique ways of escaping. To me, it was the gold standard. To me, that's how it should have been. And if you implemented those things into this game where you actually made the killers scary, you actually give it something to work with, right? You actually make it fun to play the killer, because obviously, why would people want to play killer when they have anxiety, right? But just spoken about that extensively. A lot of people have killer anxiety. A lot of people will sit there and just stare at the lobby screen pretty much. So like, yo, they don't even want to queue again because of how bad their experience was playing killer. Why is that even allowed? Why are we letting that happen? There's no anxiety to be had on Survivor side, because you can easily shovel it off to, oh, my teammates are bad, and then queue again. They could just DC and rage quit because it went against Clown and got down at a window that they should have known had nowhere else to go, as we saw in the Quiet Kills video. Right? They go down to these weak ass killers, and it's like, bro, the clown didn't even use his bottles. He walked you down. His big ass walked you down on foot. No hindered, no haste, just straight up walking at you, and you just got down in seconds. That's a you problem. But for some reason, the DVD community is so focused on anti-skill, anti-improvement, and somehow this buggy game still has players, and I still don't get it. I hear so much about like this DVD addiction and all of this type of stuff, and I just don't get it, because the game is so horribly unbalanced to the point that now as killer players have to sit here and slug people now in order to counter 10 perks. We have to sit here and counter 10 perks by slugging now. And then you'll have the survivors bitching and complaining, oh, why are you slugging? Why are you slugging? Oh my god, it's so bro. Oh my god, no. We need base get unbreakable. No, you don't. They need to bring down those perks. Because the fact that we're countering 10 perks at once is insane. We wouldn't have the need to do all of that if those perks weren't as strong as they are. But they make the perks on survivors stronger and stronger, and they make the perks on killer just shit. Weak. So I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. I just don't understand why Behaviour is doing this to their game. And my problem is like, slugging is enjoyable for me, because at least I know that my time is actually going to matter, especially when I've been playing Billy, because I've been retired my own mains basically. Billy's pretty much like the only character I think I've picked up recently within the last few months that I've actually enjoyed anymore, because Blight got nerfed and Nurse got nerfed as well. Kind of no point. Billy's the only one that I think that is actually enjoyable and actually strong, because my mains are garbage. My mains can't handle anything. Freddy, for example, gets completely countered by Vigil. It's insane. The counterplay was already there, but then you have Vigil, which is already meta. Ghostface already suffers against giant maps and gen speed. Pyramid Head, Shift W. Chucky, Shift W. So it's like, at what point am I gonna sit here and try to play these characters anymore? All that's left is to just play one of the stronger killers and just slug. That's the only thing I have that you can really do in response because of that. Because these perks and effects are so powerful, you have no choice but to slug. And that's my problem with this game. But I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you think of the slugging meta. I want to know what you guys think of the state of killer nowadays. I want to hear your thoughts, man. Let me know. Consider becoming a member on YouTube or Patreon, or even subbing on Twitch. I will see you guys in the next one. All right, let's go ahead and read off these wonderful members. We got Patreon, Crow Vader. All my YouTube members, Brando, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not J-Lo, Evil Peach, Kargan Falcon, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. Really appreciate you guys supporting, man. And if you also subbed on Twitch, just know that you got love coming your way too. Appreciate you guys, man.